Yo, what's going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. In today's video, I'm going to go over the trades that we took today inside the Discord as well as the game plan going into tomorrow. So this is what we looked like at open. If we go to the 30-minute chart, what trend did we have? And, the trend we had was neutral. Why? Because the 10 SMA here, which is the green, is below the 50 on the put side, and then we flipped to the call side, same case, same scenario. So 10's below the 50. We ended up, curling down today on these call contracts. Like I said yesterday, most likely that's going to happen today. These are going to start turning and the market's officially neutral. So at this point we just look for a 0-day cross in either direction. So we go to the 0DT chart. This is what we looked like today right off of open. We ended up opening right in this area here at 9:30. We were below this 50 SMA, and you could have tried this negative cross. It was definitely not the easiest one to catch because it was a little choppy in this area. I was just waiting for a 0-day cross because this kind of happened due to or this negative cross was pretty much due to the theta overnight on the contract. So it wasn't really solely based off of price action because overnight theta drops the contracts a little bit. I was personally just waiting for a cross. This ended up playing out, but it definitely wouldn't have been easy because we hit the 50. And then once we, started to reject and 50 turned down, we ended up coming back up and not breaking it, but, we ended up shooting back above that 50 right there. And most likely you would have been stopped out at that point because, I probably would have stopped out. I know Colton did because, we got back above the 10 SMA and the 10 started to curl a little bit. 50's flat. I mean, once you see that Hulk green candle, most likely you're not going to be holding through that in case it just goes higher. So, that's why we do use a closure, but in reality I probably would have been stopped on that anyways. But I didn't take that. Is what it is. If you took that and stopped out, just no biggie. I mean, wouldn't have been that major of a loss. And also it's a neutral market, so what do we do when we're neutral? We size lower because there's no edge, there's no trend in the market. So these times in the market you want to be trading less. You can just see the last 2 days we've had choppier action. You can see these candles just wicking back and forth a lot. So when that happens, you're just you know to size less when we're neutral. So this is where I took a trade. Very clean setup right here. So if we look, we finally got this put cross right here. The 50 didn't end up turning until down in this area at the 50. So once the 50 turned, I was in on this. I was in on the 1350 candle open. So 150 I entered right at the open, or not right at the open. I think it was 1 minute after I entered. 151 was the entry, and you can see I immediately was up 50 points on this 5-minute candle, and I got out. I didn't hold this because we are neutral. I'm making my 50 points and I'm getting out. I had my TP set at 50 automatically, so as soon as we hit that, I'm out because we are neutral. When we're neutral, make your 50 points and get out of the market because it could be a little bit choppier, and we ended up coming all the way back down to the 50, and I'm not buying this 50 dip. Wouldn't take that because we already got this 50-point drop, and then got a little ugly looking, but then the 50 curled up hard. It did look really nice on the 0-day chart, but personally I'm not re-entering that in a neutral market. So I got my 50 points very quickly too. It was like a couple minutes on that single candle that I entered on was that 50 points. So I got my 50 points, packed it up at that, and then we just ended up chopping the rest of the day. So this chart was going negative here, but again it's getting towards the end of the day. It's, what is this, what time was this? Yeah, this was towards the end of the day, last hour. We're neutral, wouldn't be trading past this time. So it's very important to know when you want to be trading, when to have your foot on the pedal, because when we're neutral, that's not a time you want to be sizing up or taking a lot of trades. Like, when we're neutral, one trade is pretty much what you want to look for. Look for one really good setup when we're neutral, and in this case today, it was this cross right here. It was very clean. 10 above the 50, 50 curled. You got a very low risk entry right here at the 50 because of when that 50 curled. So, as soon as we start breaking below that 50, if we close below, you're out for a small loss. And then, this ended up playing in our favor and sniping the absolute top. So, I didn't even get the best fill on this. I got filled at, I think, 69 on NQ, and it went up to 80. So you probably could have got a fill somewhere in the 70s. I was waiting for it to bounce a little bit before I got in, so ended up missing out on a few points, but I mean, I'll still take the 50. And yeah, that's what we did today, and that's how you would have read these charts. So going into tomorrow, futures are down quite a bit, and before they were even down a lot, this is what we looked like at the close. I mean, again, we're still sitting right at this daily 50. This is massive support. I know we closed below it today, but not by much. I mean, contracts, the 50's at like 689, contracts are at 541. It's a daily candle, so we're not that far below it. It could easily wick up tomorrow, which it will. It's going to open above the 50, and possibly we see a reversal down into the 30-minute 50 here on the put side. So that's what I would imagine is going to happen. We're probably going to push in this 30-minute 50 because we know that today the market did go neutral. 10 went below the 50 started curling down, and there really hasn't been a move lower because of that chart. And also you look at the higher time frames, 1 hour went negative. I don't even know what the other ones look like. 2 hour is below the 10, and I know the daily ended up rejecting the 10 right here. You can see popped up in the daily 10 and getting rejection. So going into tomorrow, we're neutral still, so look for a 0-day cross either side of the premium. Negative cross on either side will work too, but I did favor lower at the close because we're still hovering around that daily 50. It's massive support, still a chance you could wick up back above it and see some downside. So we're just going to see how we open up tomorrow, see what we can get tomorrow. Again, 0-day cross either side of the premium, 50 dip either, not 50 dip, my bad, definitely not a 50 dip on either side of the premium because we are neutral. You only do that when we're trending. So 0-day cross, negative cross on either side will work tomorrow. So that's the game plan. If you guys enjoyed, drop a sub. If you guys want to learn, join the Discord down below. That's where all the trades are shared. That's where all the knowledge is at. Again, on the YouTube, that's pretty much all you need here is the videos. But if you want the extra knowledge, extra push in the right direction, premium's where to be. That's where the trades are shared. We got a ton of examples of how to trade these charts. So yeah, that's all I got. I'm out. Peace.